I really managed to get towards my ambition of becoming very rich, very young. And then I started my career in Airtel, where I joined as a general manager sales, learned through a lot of mistakes how not to do your job, and then learned from that and turned around. And I became extremely successful because I started not looking at my own adding value to my own self, but how to add value to the organization. That is a big shift for me. So till then, it was about how to make more money, how to reach the next level, how to become the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. And then suddenly the thing flipped and I started looking at how to add maximum value to the organization.
What created that shift, Ramji? What created that shift?
So I messed up very badly in the first year. I did not coordinate well. I was a very senior person in the organization as general manager sales. I was the senior most in the first line after the chief operating officer. And it was my responsibility maybe to have reached out to other functional heads and found out what is lacking, what is going well. And in telecom operation, unless all the functions come together, you will not have a happy customer who will stay with you and produce revenue for you and continue on in the network. So the network has to be good, the billing process has to be good, the activation of the process has to be good, the complaint resolving mechanism has to be great. So, and the collection mechanism has to be in place. If you don't have any of these and you just go and sell activations, which is my job, what happens is at the end of the day, you have a lot of customers who are unhappy and who will not pay, and then you will have to write off a lot of revenue. And that happened in my case. And I held myself responsible, luckily, for that. And I realized that the buck stops with me in anything. And I need to take care of this entire thing. I need to look at the value of the organization. And I had a great boss then who sort of guided me through that aspect. And I learned that I can't just look at my own role in silo. I need to look at the larger picture, maximize the value for the organization. That happened. And that made me the youngest, I think maybe the youngest chief operating officer in the telecom industry in the country at the age of 34.
Okay. So here is this little boy who started off in Kerala, a true blue Malayali who comes to Chennai, is shaken and learns a lot of life lessons before he steps out of the IIT campus, gets into an MBA, starts off well, reaches his first goal of making money, then moves to Airtel, where he understands the power of togetherness of the team and reaches the top there as well at 34. And then what did you want from life now? Life gave you everything you aspired for.
So I continued to be very ambitious and I wanted to be, I had a very clear target at that time. Global CEO of a Fortune 500 company before 45. Okay. So 11 years to go, 34, I was chief operating officer in a telecom circle. And 11 years seemed to be enough time to actually acquire whatever skills required and grow to that level. Unfortunately, that's when the biggest challenge in my life started, which is an autoimmune condition, which manifested itself as a tremor in my fingers and a slight loss of balance. Many doctors couldn't diagnose what is the problem. There were some misdiagnoses in between. And I had to struggle with that for about 7 years. And those 7 years were hell, actually, because first of all, you don't know what's wrong with you. So you don't know whether you should tell in your organization that you are going through this. Only yourself and your wife knows that you're going through this struggle. And she had to actually, she had a very good job. In fact, she was earning more than me actually before in the first few years. And she's my junior from XLRI. She quit her job because anyway, that time we also had our second kid. So she thought it would be a good idea to stay at home for some time. She had quit her job. We had moved to Coimbatore because that was where the Airtel Tamil Nadu circle was based out of. And then this problem started. And I was wondering, is there some serious problem? And my wife's mother had passed away from motor neuron disorder. And motor neuron disorder had the same symptoms as what I was going through. And MND, once you get it, it's a very quick and accelerated progress towards death. And we were worried whether I had that. And we wanted her to get back to work because at least somebody had to look after the kids. So there was a lot of pressure and tension and stress in life at that point in time. But luckily, I managed to move to another city and got a job in Delhi, where then she could actually look for a job which was suitable for her. And she managed to get a job in Google. That sort of helped us in terms of bringing down the stress levels. And then, of course, the condition kept getting worse. And it took a long time. It took 7 years for the diagnosis to finally happen. By the time I had become almost a physical wreck. I could barely climb up steps. I could not walk straight. I would trip and fall. I couldn't stand in one place without swaying. I couldn't hold things properly with my hands. My fingers had lost their strength and the ability to hold things. So there are so many issues I was grappling with by the time I was 41. So from wanting to climb into the boardroom of a Fortune 500 company, suddenly life became, can I climb up one step without falling?